TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
TravelWise podcast, and a very special podcast coming from the Arabian travel market, and delighted to be at the Seychelles, the stand of the Seychelles, Republic of Seychelles, to find out what's happening in the heart of the Indian Ocean. Delightful number of islands, and I've had the fortune to go to many in the past. I'm going to start this podcast as we tell you about new hotels and strategies for the future of tourism, starting with the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism in Seychelles, Mr.
Radegonde.
First of all, the Arabian travel market, how important is this event for you and the tourism of your country?
No, this region is very important. The GCC region is very important for us. It fits very well in our strategy to diversify our source markets. You know, traditionally we've focused a lot on Western Europe, but over the last few years we've been looking further afield because COVID taught us that we couldn't put all our eggs in one basket. And this region, because not only of the inhabitants, permanent inhabitants, but also the international workers that, other people that are in the area, very, very important for us.
Sure. There's been strong ties, hasn't there, between, we're in the UAE and the Republic of Seychelles from a tourism perspective, and also, I believe, business as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, political, in all aspects, strong ties between the UAE and the Seychelles.
Yes, and probably direct investment as well from key entities.
A lot of investments from this part of the world, primarily in the tourism industry, I must say. Okay. A lot of the new hotels are owned, by people from this region.
Of course. So we'll come on to hotels in a moment with one of your colleagues. But I guess the key aspect for developing tourism, to have good relationship with airlines and developing the uplift from the region into the Seychelles. So how has that sort of changed? How has it evolved since COVID?
I think it's we've gone back. I think we've done very well since COVID in terms of visitor arrivals. But airlines, I think most of the airlines have come back. At the moment, I think our deficiency in Seychelles is more direct air links out of Europe. But from this region, I must say, it's well served, by at least three different airlines that fly out from here.
And for example, I think Emirates are flying twice a day, aren't they?
Emirates flying twice a day. We have Qatar
And of course, they're bringing in people, as you mentioned, to Europe being a key market. They're bringing in passengers and guests from Europe via Dubai, via Doha into the city.
Absolutely, yes.
Rather than sort of direct flights.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so looking ahead, any major strategies for tourism in the Seychelles over the next few years?
Now, Seychelles, we will continue to do a couple of things. One, diversify our products in country. We are a destination that will remain, high-end, upmarket, pushing more for quality over quantity. Seychelles will never be a mass tourism destination. But what we want is every visitor that comes have a great experience culturally, but also is able to spend as much as possible in the country. That is why we need to offer many more activities, many more things that the visitor can spend on beyond sand, sun and sea.
So I'm just wondering, and knowing quite a few of the islands, how can you offer more than the natural beauty, for example, and the cultural experiences? What else would you have up your sleeve?
But it's all everything to do with cultural experiences precisely. I think we can do a lot. Seychelles is a small country, but culturally very rich. There are things that we can do. A visitor, we reckon, for example, you go in a village in Seychelles, you can learn how to cook Creole food, you can learn how to dance, the local dance. There's the artisanal products. You can learn how to make baskets and things like that. So a lot of things that we can do. So I was saying in-house, in country, this is what we can do. But externally also continue to diversify our source markets.
Right.
Looking at the whole world.
Think of activity. There seems to be a trend for theme parks popping up all over the place.
No, I don't think Seychelles will be that sort of destination.
Yeah, sure.
I think
you have so much to offer.
Yes.
Outside.
Yeah. You can have a quiet holiday, but also the islands are such that you can also engage in other activities.
And what are you doing for regarding staff and training of staff? I recall a few years ago going, and I think the hospitality school had just opened, or a hospitality academy.
Yeah, we have a tourism academy. We're working very closely with the trade to train people that are needed in the industry. But the country is small,
Sure.
100,000 people.
Yeah.
We do not have all the necessary manpower. So there will be a certain component that we import.
Sure, yeah.
That will continue. But the focus is to have an industry that is as much as possible Seychellois owned and Seychellois run.
I remember the World Travel Market last year in London talking to the minister from Jamaica. A very similar sort of thing, having their own academy to train people, make it the starting point of a career rather than sort of casual labour.
Casual labour,
being so important.
absolutely. So we are working now, we have a project in the tourism department looking at retention.
Yeah.
That's
the word, isn't it? Retention.
Retention. What we need to do. Training is not so difficult, but once you've trained, we want to make sure that people we've trained to go out in the industry, stay on in the industry.
Yeah.
But that, you've got to look at the salary package and everything that comes with it. But beyond that, and this is something we always say, in the case of Seychelles, it's not only the people who actually are employed in the industry. The whole country should be concerned about the tourism industry.
Yeah, right.
Every Seychellois should make tourism their business.
Yes, that's a nice philosophy. Yeah, indeed. And I'm just talking now, and I'm visualising the many experiences I had, and they were, the ones which come to mind were all to do with nature, the Valley de Mer, and sailing around. I mean, there is so much there to do without having to bring in sort of, as I alluded to, theme parks. You have your own natural nature theme park.
There won't be theme parks. Trust me.
Yeah, you sort of look around here at the Urban Travel Market, there's a lot of flashing lights and things.
No.
The complete opposite, which is great to know. So, a key single message to listeners of this podcast regarding coming to and staying in the Seychelles. Would you be able to do it in one key message, or there's so many aspects?
Difficult to get that in a key message, except to say that Seychelles is another world.
Very good, yeah. Another world.
Another
and not
world.
too far away with transport links as they are.
Exactly.
Thank you. Minister, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
And I'm intrigued now to find out more about what's happening on the ground in many ways, like new hotels, through hotel changing, brands and things like that. So that'll be in our second part of this podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
TravelWise Part 2 on the Seychelles tourist stand at the Arabian Travel Market. Very bustling, and now we're talking with Sherin Francis, Principal Secretary of Tourism Seychelles. Busy crowd.
It is.
This is second day, so what's been the response?
Extremely busy.
What's been the response so far?
It's been very good. This year's ATM has been extremely busy the first 2 days, yesterday and today, and I think it's good signs when every of your partners are busy, which means it's good things to come for Seychelles.
So who have you got on the stand here? Is it stakeholders, destinations?
Yes, we have a mix of tour operators and hotel partners joining us on our stand here.
As I said, very busy. So since I've been to the Seychelles, I mean, it's 9 years ago, I think. It's terrible. We had an interruption.
You need to come back.
So I need to come back. A lot to see, a lot of new hotels, for example. So I believe quite a few openings and changes this first quarter.
Yes, this year, the first quarter, we had two hotel openings, two beautiful properties. The first one is the Waldorf Astoria on Platte Island. It's one of our outer island, and it's a Robinson Crusoe style island, one hotel.
Oh, really? Did you think of the Waldorf Astoria as being something very different to that?
It is, and this is why our listeners should consider experiencing the property, because it's very different from the city Waldorf Astoria.
Which people here in the UAE will think of Waldorf Astoria being a city hotel, financial district, things like that. So very different.
But this one, it's a resort, fit in the sun, exactly. And with amazing nature and amazing outdoor, rich marine life as well. So it's definitely a totally different experience.
And the location, the island, how far away is that from the international airport?
It's about 20-25 minutes by a twin otter flight
I love those flights.
from Mahe as well. So it's really, like I said, a Robinson Crusoe style kind of holiday.
And those flights are great because you get such a wonderful aerial view
Exactly.
of the islands and
Yes.
the turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, the amazing turquoise blue sea.
Sure.
Yes.
So that's the Waldorf Astoria.
Yes, and in March we also saw the opening of Hilton by Canopy, so another Hilton property, but this time on Mahe, in the south part of Mahe, en Salamouche, and another beautiful product and beautiful additions to the Seychelles plethora of
Sure,
hotels.
yeah.
It's a kind of a lifestyle hotel, I think something which was a bit missing in
Okay,
Seychelles,
yeah.
and again, amazing product and a different experience where we're hoping visitors from this region also would make the most of it.
Now, Varni is a name which is familiar to a lot of travellers in
Yes.
this region and, of
Yes.
course, in Asia, of course.
So that would be the third hotel opening in Seychelles this year,
Yeah.
and it's scheduled for the second half of the year
All right.
to see the reopening of Varni. With major renovation, so it will have several new features, exciting features for our visitors.
Okay.
And should I mention the fourth property now?
Yeah,
Because we do
do
have
so,
a
yeah.
fourth one.
A fourth one, yeah.
We do have a fourth one scheduled for the fourth quarter of this year. It's Le Cheval Blanc.
Okay.
And this one is a very luxurious high-end property. It replaces the banyan tree property, which was before. Again, it will be an exciting and very interesting property and well needed by our clients from this part of the world.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, so with the new hotels, there's quite a few extra rooms coming into the portfolio of hotels, isn't there? So that's good news, isn't it?
And this is amazing and good news for us because one of the comments we were getting from our trade partners from this region, because GCC tends to be a last-minute market, and I'm thinking also not just because of the trend here, but because of the proximity. We're only 4 hours away.
Sure, yeah.
A lot of people would decide very last minute to come to Seychelles, and we were having a bit of an issue because Europeans tend to book very early, like 9 months ahead. This is unthinkable here, as far as 9 months ahead.
9 days, is it?
So at the time when clients from the GCC region wants to book, the properties they are looking for does not have room inventory. So having 4 new resorts opening in Seychelles this year is actually very good news for this market and our partners.
Yeah. That's always been an issue here, last minute bookings, and what I'm hearing this year at ATM is happening later and later since COVID. And the advice given out was, if you leave it late, you're not going to have the choice or perhaps availability. So
Exactly.
book early, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So a lot of new rooms coming on board then in the Seychelles. We mentioned before about uplifting with the airlines from the GCC and also Europe GCC across. How many flights a week do you have coming into the Seychelles?
We have a double daily from Dubai via Emirates. We do have Etihad Airways as well, traveling from Abu Dhabi. And we do have dailies from Doha as well, Qatar Airways. So we're quite well connected with the region. And we're in discussion. I think it's a bit premature for me to mention, but we're also in discussions to have a bit more flights from the region as well.
Okay, so a fair bit of choice really for people across the region. Now, in order to get the message out regarding flights and also the new hotels and activities, what's your key sort of focus in terms of marketing?
We are very much focused on experiencing Seychelles right now. We are trying to paint this beautiful picture that yes, we are sandy and sand, but there's much more to discover and experience when on holiday in Seychelles. And we have such a great outdoor with lots of marine activities, hiking and wellness. But also, in addition to that, we also today have cultural experiences, great experiences that you can immerse yourself.
Isn't it what people are after these days?
Oh yes, it's very much in demand, and we are responding to a travel trend, to a demand which actually it's there. People don't want to travel anymore just to go and flop on the beach and just suntan, but they want also to have things to do.
And I think
and also for the rainy days. Remember,
yeah, sure.
We've received last year a fairly amount of rain, so we have to think of what our visitors can do when it's raining.
Sure, yeah. Because I think, is there a different perspective? People from Europe, where it's grey and wet, want the sunshine, they want the beach. People from this region, where there's a lot of sunshine, of course, and a lot of wonderful beaches, want a bit more than that.
Exactly. They want to immerse in authentic experiences. They want to try the food, the gastronomy. So for us, the work we are doing is responding to that demand. So we've been, from the product side, we've been doing a lot of work to have more cultural bazaar and more community-based tourism experiences. So where you would go meet a family learning how to do crafts with coconut leaves, for example, or even how to do a pottery and things. But the beauty of this is basically experiencing Seychelles from a totally different angle that you would do before.
As we're talking now, so I just remembered, and it's regarding Oman and before COVID, I was doing some interviews with a young group of entrepreneurs, and they set up a booking website where you can book an experience. Might be fishing with a Omani fisherman, or going into the home and having cooking lessons with the local people. And they were really getting geared up and getting a lot of response. And unfortunately, COVID came along, but it seemed a really good way. It was a gateway for visitors to get into the community aspect of things.
Yes, but it's good you mentioned that, because similar to this, we've also on our website we've launched a page called Creole Rendezvous, which is basically we bring together all these cultural experiences on one page where you can book, you can get the contacts and everything. Okay. But in addition to that, there's a young fellow from our third largest island, Radegonde, as well. So you were just talking about the young people. We have a young gentleman he has taken this as a business interest.
Wow.
He developed a website called cocosier.com, and if you go on there, you can have access to a whole list of cultural experiences on Radegonde.
Sounds very much like the Omani model.
From just taking a tour in an horse cart, or going to learn how to cook traditional dish with a family, or just dressing up in Creole attires and taking a photo shoot. So
that's
it's
very exciting. So his Apple.
His website is called cocosier.com.
Again?
Cocosier.
Okay.
KOKOSYE.com.
And the page on your website would be
Creole Rendezvous.
Creole Rendezvous. Excellent.
Yes.
So what's the main website?
It's Seychelles.com.
Well, talking about hotel development, new hotels, cuisine, activities, all different experiences. But of course, Seychelles is a destination for your own homegrown events and external events. So what have you got on the calendar over the next 6 months, 12 months?
I think the important ones that's worth mentioning are our Tourism Festival 2024, which is would be the last week of September, because we do have a few cultural events lined up during that festival. The Creole Festival itself, which is again normally the last 10 days of October. This is a great cultural manifestation. So if you really want to learn about our tradition, our Creole way of life, the gastronomy, and all these things, I think it's one festival to look forward to. But very exciting on the horizon for 2025, it's the Beach World Cup series, the FIFA Beach World Cup.
Big, big event,
And this is set for May 2025. Yes.
So, great exposure, a lot of people flying in.
Of course,
For
the
the event.
football fanatics, it's something for them to calendar
Brilliant, excellent.
for next year.
So further details on that event and others on the Seychelles website.
Seychelles.com. Thank you for the opportunity for us to talk about our great islands. Thank you.
And hope you have a really good Arabian travel market.
It's already been a great one these 2 days. Thank you.
Sherin, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views, and interviews.
And if you'd like to have your own podcast, do drop me an email on philblizzardmedia@gmail.com.
A Phil Blizzard radio production.
Available on Apple, Amazon, Ngami, Spotify, Deezer, Google, and all good podcast channels, and also now on YouTube.